Hi everyone, this is Koji again from Celestial Rhythms. We live in momentous times. It's so wonderful to be alive at this time when this goes down on our planet. This is such a crescendo, such a unbelievable climax we're experiencing, that awakening of so many people all at once, and how it reflects in the stars. Even more amazing how this all comes together. So let me tell you a different story today. It is the story of the people awakening to their power because they have to. Because, well, the majority, a good majority of American people have voted for Donald Trump. They want President Trump to stay in power, and these people will stand up for him. No one yet understands the magnitude of this movement. We will see over the next 2 weeks or so. Actually, it goes really fast. By next Thursday, we already will see one breakthrough after the other. There will be lawsuits filed on all edges, all over the country. Everywhere there will be 1,000 lawsuits probably or something, and there will be a national support which is unprecedented. It just will create such a momentum that this is really triggering the awakening of all the others too, who were still standing on the other side. I guess that's really the whole trick of that game. And that's what astrology tells in a nutshell. That's the story. The American heart is awakening. Well, I show you a few charts to support this story. So this was an election day. Now, I spoke a little bit about that yesterday in my other video. In the US chart, in the US American People's chart, and that's the one here, Pluto is the, I would say, the nodal point. It's where everything is suspended on. It's in a very powerful place here in the second house, in the last 2.5 degrees of the sign, which is the Sagittarius quad of Capricorn. Capricorn is that amazing connectedness with the structure of reality, and when Pluto in there has used all the crevices and the niches and all the support structures to gain the power in the negative form. And now Saturn is coming in here, joining, having its final meeting with this Saturn, with this Pluto, by November the 20th. That happens only once every 30 years. And this year, this is a very special time of that happening, because there's so much support from all the other planets. Now, I'm focusing on this Pluto right now, and see, Saturn by transit has entered this segment. Here it is. It's just a bit, you have to imagine Capricorn is now up here, versus in this chart Capricorn is here. But it's 27, 32. So this hexagram 60, which is limitation, which is really the arrest of that, and to nail it down and to expose it and to bring it into full. You have to put it to expose it. I guess that's the real first thing, because that's what Saturn is good at. Saturn is the detainer. For example, Neptune was only discovered when Saturn was there in the same degree pretty much, and interestingly enough, the guy who really discovered it, the assistant, right, in 1781. No, that was in 1846. 1846 when Neptune was discovered. Anyway, the long story short, Saturn is the detainer, and coming in this hexagram where Pluto is, hexagram 60, limitation, is the rang the bell to start this last phase, if you want, of the takedown of the Cabal. So why I'm saying this is this Mars here. You see, that was the moment when this exactly took place, when Saturn crossed 26, 22, 30, Mars was rising. Okay, that is, the war is up. Now we send out all the agents to do the job, to act on it. So we have to give this a few weeks' time naturally. This is not happening all at once. There's an orchestration going on. Now, the first thing is we have to win over the people. And that has been ingeniously done by allowing this cheating. And just, there was all these observations, all these evidence collecting, whatever setups, people who were assigned to watch and take all the evidence, that's all now in, and that is now in record speed, put into lawsuits, written out, and all with the testimonies and the many affidavits. And anyway, to fight something in court is an enormous amount of background work, and they are working at warp speed right now. On Monday already the first lawsuits will be filed, and by next Thursday, the 12th, I expect that is really the day when the really major big lawsuits will hit, or maybe we are even a step further ahead, that already some decisions come out, we will see. Anyway, that Thursday is the most powerful day we had probably this whole year, and I will show you, I already showed you yesterday in my other video, but I will get back to that in a few days, closer to it. For now, okay, I want to show you this. This is now, yes, I said Mars is here really the driver in this chart. I could say many more things about that chart. I just keep it short, pick out the most powerful ingredient. I mean, the other powerful ingredient naturally is the North Node here in Gemini, together with the moon approaching the node. And interestingly enough, this is very resonant with President Trump's chart. If we quickly go there, 1725 and 2019. And this is President Trump's Uranus and his North Node. So he has a North Node return that adds to his present power, how he's in the same flow as the collective evolution. I spoke about that a bit earlier, or wrote about it, I forget. But it is that he is really an archetype of what's going on in a collective. He represents in a natural way, at this time particularly, the evolutionary path we all are on. He's a perfect example in that sense. And that Uranus here on his moon, that is, it's just amazing how he is really in tune with what happens, is totally carried by all the energies, and he is in it with his heart, and I guess that's all there is really to it. He is in tune with the greater plan. He is just a front figure who has to take all the the blasting, the sandblasting, and stand strong in that field of extreme attack. I mean, he is. It's hard to understand how he can take it. I mean, he's a warrior, and this shows here in this next chart very clearly. That was now yesterday, when the Sun entered this core phase of Scorpio, hexagram 1. Now this is the heliocentric chart, right? I'm changing this quickly, just give me 1 second. Okay, takes a second. Yeah, my computer can be really slow sometimes. Okay, having a little break here, I guess. Come on. Yeah, it's really slow. Oh, come on. Well, I guess never mind. Let's just go back to the charts. No, okay, it's thinking. My computer is thinking. Okay, are we now good? Let's see. Yes, now we're good. Okay, now it shifted to geocentric. Okay, so this is when the Sun entered hexagram 1, those 6 days of extreme creative power. It is interesting that also this false coronation of the dark, whatever, queen, I want to say, but I mean, it's really a guy. I mean, the queen waiting in the background, I guess. Anyway, it's an interesting choice of day, the 7th day of the 11th month. If you multiply 7 by 11 times 11, you get 77. And it so happens that Washington, D.C., that power place is at the 77th western degree of longitude. Just this is a little a nugget to think about, how the Masons who founded the American nation were very much into numerology, and that's one thing the Cabal has been still using on many levels, and it's in their dark magic, like 9/11, things like that. You guys certainly are aware of all that. So, okay, that's what I want to show. That phase in Washington, when that 6th day from November 5 to roughly November 12, that week was initiated. 26, 22, Leo was rising. And guess what? That's President Trump's Mars. Shows that he is totally empowered by this situation. He is on fire. He is out of his reserve at this present time, and he is very enthusiastic and very just radiant. Now, yes, he played golf today. I find that just really brilliant. It shows that he is so confident. He knows so well that he deserves to be president for another 4 years, and he knows he has the backing of all his people. Probably, I'm guessing, probably 60% nationwide for sure. That was his support. I mean, there were 71 million votes cast for Trump and seemingly 74 for Biden, as we just learned today. Wonder they were working overtime. Sure enough, they probably filled in at least 15 million ballots. That's, I guess, about my guess. I might even be shy on my guess, Because last elections, which already was a busy election, many more people went to the polls than naturally by average over long term. So last time it was something like 63 million for Trump and 65 million for Hillary at the time. So already, if we think Trump got 71 million, that means if we would go with the same number of people voting, that would mean the other side would have something like 59 million votes. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, that would mean, yes, they had to throw in 25 million extra votes imported from wherever, printed wherever, and if this story is true with the watermarks, then, well, we will see. Will be interesting, but it all will come to light. There have been thousands of people working on tracking and recording evidence. That's what this was all about. We have to understand that. So we just have to be hanging in there and be patient. It's all working out. So, okay, now tomorrow, Sunday, we have 3 energetic shifts tomorrow, which are really important in many ways. The first one is the black moon changing hexagrams, as I mentioned yesterday, from number 3, difficulties at the beginning, into nourishment for the next however 8 weeks or so. Interesting is in this chart, in this Washington chart, that this degree, 20 degree Virgo, which is rising in Washington when this phase is rang in, when it begins at the inception of this energetic shift of these 5-7 weeks of the black moon, the shadow expressing through that particular window, wearing that kind of outfit, if you want. And 27 nourishment is about the eating process. You have a big jaw and many teeth in between, and we are consuming, we are breaking something down and getting fed by it, injecting it and absorbing it and transforming it. I guess that's really the bigger process here. So here in this degree is the American nation's black moon. You wouldn't believe it. It's quite wild. You see, this is 1928 black moon in the American chart. Neptune here close by, which in itself tells a whole story of being misled and misguided and tricked into believing things and tricked by propaganda and so what. This is a very strong placement in the American chart because it's the highest planets. You see, this is midheaven here. So if we look from the horizon, it's really the 2 highest planets intercepted here in Virgo, alienated, not directly accessible, easily to be hijacked in that sense. And again, Trump's Mars here, 26 degree Leo. So he's really the one who brings fire in this 9th house, has brought fire. I mean, from the very onset in 2015, he really fired the American nation up. I guess he made everybody to start thinking and researching in their own way. Sure, we know many people go in the wrong direction because they're misled and such, but it started a movement. And it's really interesting to see the resonance here. So tomorrow, when the black moon will change into that new hexagram, this will be accentuated, this spot in everybody's chart who lives in America, naturally most strongly the whole nation's chart. Then a few hours later, so this is, you see, 2:09 a.m. roughly, early morning in Washington. And then 2 hours, not even 2 hours later, there's the Sun-Juno conjunction, which is all about teamwork and standing together, giving each other a hand. And we see Venus rising with Mercury in Libra, Mars in the 7th house opposing Venus. That is a very creative energy. When Venus and Mars come together, something new is created. There's strong attraction. There is this flare in the air of wanting to be with each other. That, as an example, a sexual attraction can be Venus-Mars, but it's also the artistic and the purely sensual approach to life. I guess that's the best way to say. So when this conjunction is exact, also there is the Moon conjunct Hygeia. That is beautiful. That is very healing. Hygeia is about well-being and health and doing the right thing. It's also linked into being guided to be at the right time at the right place, and with in Leo, the Moon in Leo, very radiant. So it's really the awakening of the heart in many ways. That's what I'm seeing in the nation. People are coming together in unexpected ways, and this energy finally will convince all the ones who still are on the wrong side of history. This energy, it's not really the president, as important as he is in this all this, will more and more get into the background, and it will be more and more the people who are really carrying him, who are giving him backing, and this is really what will finally persuade other people. It is interesting that this moment also has the Earth and the solar position, the Sun of the United States, exactly in the consciousness line. So this is the most powerful 2 points of any chart. This is the root where we're anchored in this reality. And this is the crown of the tree, kind of where we are naturally evolving towards in terms of expressing ourselves, being a light, being seen, the hat we're wearing. So let's go back to the American chart. You see 1319 Cancer is the Sun, 1319 Capricorn is Earth's position. Earth is always at the other side of the Sun. That's kind of the natural polarity. So 1319 Cancer, the Sun, 1319 Capricorn, the Earth. A very, very beautiful anchoring of this Sun-Juno energy in this creative hexagram 1, of creating something new. It's the 6 yang lines, the dragon's energy, which is pure creativity, pure creative energy, which is then anchored on the other side in the 6 yin lines, which is the receptive. That's hexagram 2, which is over here, exactly opposing hexagram 1, with Earth here in total receptivity. That's what happens right now in this 6-day period between November 6 and 12 roughly. It is that scorpionic energy of creativity, of allowing the chaos to come through us. It's really that turbulence, all where when you watch, for example, a river, it's the turbulence at the edges which are really different from the rest. That's where the unusual happens, where friction appears. So in a nutshell said, really, this is a breakthrough. This is an enormous breakthrough, and just a couple days ahead of this historic conjunction of Pallas, Jupiter, and Pluto on the 12th. I cannot emphasize that enough. That is such a powerful day. We will see on that next Thursday. So anyway, here the last chart I really want to show you right now. I don't want to make this too long. So this was the Sun-Juno conjunction, which just happens 2 hours after the black moon changed. So there's a multi-layered energy change which is happening tomorrow. And the last final twist here is just a few minutes later. You see 3:53:59 versus 4:02, 3 minutes later, not even. In heliocentric astrology this time, the pure energetic level, Saturn shifts a gear too into hexagram 41. That is crossing the... Now, to show you this, we should go back to heliocentric astrology. Let me just switch this quickly. Hopefully it goes a bit faster this time. Yep, here we are. Okay, so here we are. Saturn exactly at 2 degrees Aquarius, entering hexagram 41, where Jupiter already is, since they started their new cycle. Hexagram 41 is defeat, or decrease the real word, decrease, but it is a sort of a defeat in a way of lowering oneself, and through that one gets into a receptive position, and then the energies flow from above in within. It is quite a magical moment. It is actually a sort of surrendering to the situation as is. And as it says in the I Ching, is the lower trigram is decreasing in service to the higher, the upper trigram. So it's a transition also from the material realm into the more ethereal and spiritual realm. It is a transference of that energy. So kind of a humility, you could say. It's also has to do with understanding that everyone who's on the other side, who's really still asleep, it's really not just their fault. They just are not so fortunate that they have realized what's going on yet. They're just blinded still by these headlights, and they can't figure things out, and they're just like frantic and afraid deer, just doing the wrong thing. I mean, it's kind of a compassion too, which comes in through this change. So overall, we are moving in a really good direction. This has kicked everyone's ass, what just happened in the last few days. And, it's definitely biblical as it was predicted. It's a wonderful, wild ride into the eye of the storm. I guess that's really where that was coming from. When first that storm was mentioned, they knew exactly this would culminate in a real storm which everyone would feel, and it's just about if you within yourself have that safety zone, that knowing that things will turn out, and astrology is a wonderful tool to see that yes, everything will turn out, because we can look ahead, we can see how the alignments work out in the future, and I can tell you it's fabulous. The year 2021 will be really, really groundbreaking in so many ways. So anyway, I want to keep it at that, and thank you for listening. Love you all. Bye-bye.